Hello, my name is Hera Menasa, and in order to graduate for the course ICT in Education at the Institute of Fort Training Teachers, also called IOL, it was mandatory for Module 14 to write an essay and make a video. This essay should cover a project of which the problem is to be analyzed according to the Participatory Action Research, also called PAR model. Because I'm the principal at a secondary school, I choose to study why many students of the second grade in my school, the St. Paul School, get very low grades for the physics test. For this study, I used the grades of the first semester of school year 2017-2018. It is important for me to do this, because at the end of a school year, second grade students must choose their field of study, which could be A for economics stream or B for scientific stream. In order to choose B for scientific stream, there is a government rule stating that a student must have at least a total point of 12 for both physics and mathematics, and of which the grade of each must be 6 or higher. If the low grades for physics continue, it is predictable that most of the students must go to the economic stream, whereas some of them would rather choose the scientific stream. This means that students must get better grades. I want to thank everyone who participated to make this study for my essay possible, especially the physics teachers and the students of the second grade of the St. Paul School. I hope that the results will be an eye-opener for both of them. My problem statement says that many students of the second grade of the St. Paul School get low grades for the physics test. My problem description says that I believe that this is because students find that the lessons are not interesting enough, that they are not prepared for the difference in test level between the first grade and the seventh grade, and that they also use their mobile phone many hours of the day instead of doing their homework. I want most of the students to get better grades, and I want them to change their way of studying, so I consider to ask the physics teachers to use more visual material, practical examples and exercises to make the lessons more interesting, also to prepare the students for the test by giving them examples of questions, and to learn the students how to use social media in their studying or homework. My essay will have an introduction, followed by my research approach, my PAR project, and within that looking at the physics grades, the grades in graphics, the surveys of the students and teachers and the analyzation of their answers, and at the end I'll give an evaluation. The introduction says that physics is the natural science that involves the study of matter and its motion and behavior through space and time, along with related concepts such as energy and force. The subject also includes other concepts such as mechanics, heat, light, sound, and magnetism, and the relation between them. It is a subject that really needs understanding in order to answer fundamental questions. The other objective question for this research is, what are the possible reasons that many second graders of the St. Paul School scored insufficient marks for their physics tests? This overall question is divided in 5 sub-questions, which are: what is the average of the grades per class of each physics test? What is necessary for students to get a grade between 6 and 10? What are the reasons for getting a low grade according to the students and teachers? How can parents help their pupil to get a better grade? And why is it necessary to get better grades in physics? To do this research, it was necessary to obtain data, so I did a survey among the students and the teachers, and I observed the way of teaching in class during physics, and I also had an interview with the physics teachers. My goal is that at least 2/3 of the students in the second grade should be able to get at least a 6 or higher for the physics test at the end of this school year. The research is about to take place from the second week of February till approximately the end of March 2018, which is the due date for the assignment. Before I choose the questions for my survey, I had non-binding conversations with students and teachers in order to ask the direct questions to do this research. The survey for the students and the teacher are attached in this presentation, and it is good to know that both had 10 minutes to fill in the survey, which was anonymous. I used the grades of the second grade of the first semester of 2017-18. Initially, I decided to do the research with 5 boys and 5 girls of each class, but on second thought, I did the research with all the students to have a larger picture. In total, it were 81 students in 4 classes. In order to answer the first sub-question, what is the average of the grades per class of each physics test, I copied the grades of the students in Excel and calculated the average score per student, the class average per test, and the class modus per test as well. As I said, it was easy to get the grades because I am the principal, and all the grades of all tests of all the subjects are written in the principal's master grade list. After I copied the grades in Excel and calculated the average score, I made a graphic showing the percentage of the total of students who get a grade lower than 5.5 for every test. In these slides, you can see the physics grades of the first semester in the 4 classes. The grades show that in every class, 5 students or more score an insufficient grade for a physics test. It is also shown that in 3 classes, the average of at least 2 of the 3 tests is less than 5.5. Putting the grades in graphic, this slide shows that the graphics shows that more than 50% of the total of students had a score of 5.5 and less for 2 of the 3 tests. The questionnaires of the students is seen at the right side of this slide. To get the possible answers for all the other 4 sub-questions, it was necessary to make this questionnaire. In the pictures, the students of class 2A are filling in the survey. Also, the teachers had a questionnaire, which is seen on the right side of this slide. There are 3 physics teachers who are all above 50 years old. All 3 of them have been teaching physics more than 20 years. Their average score for almost every test is between 4 and 6. None of them chose the alternatives for question 3. And question 3 was, what is in their opinion the reason that most students are getting a low grade for their physics test? They wrote down that the students read the questions too simplistic, so their answers are not fully correct. They don't have the impressions that the students don't understand the questions. When confronting them in an interview with the fact that students complained about the usage of ICT tools or other audiovisual material and practical assignments, they informed me that they have only 2 sessions of 40 minutes, which is not enough time to do all of these things. So, chalk and blackboard is mostly used. They complained that students often don't make their homework and are not paying attention in class. Very often, homework is being copied from the blackboard after the teacher has written it down. However, 2 of the teachers gave me the impression during the interview that they are willing to use ICT in order to improve the grades. Looking at the answers of the students, the main question was, what are the possible reasons that many second graders of the St. Paulo School score insufficient marks for their physics test? The answers are put in a table, and of this table, a graphic was made as seen in this slide. We can see that 36% of the students say that they didn't study hard enough, 24% say that they don't understand the subject, and only 6% says that they always score above 5.5. Also, the question how long they are using the mobile per day, it is seen that 36% is above 5 hours and 12% is above 4 hours a day, looking at the graph. So it indicates that they are using 5 hours a day to do mobile stuff instead of studying. An evaluation shows that students don't get help at home and have to study themselves. They also are cases where parents pay for extra lessons to help their child improve the grades, and in other cases the students don't want any help. Because parents don't interfere in their child's study or make, for example, a study schedule, students admit that they spend very much time on their mobile playing games and chatting with friends, time that they can use to study. Also, the student answers on why it is important to get a grade of 6 and higher. It shows that some students already know that they want to go to the A or B stream, that they can have a better job, that they can satisfy their parents, or that they want to satisfy their parents, but also it counts to pass to the 3rd grade. In the interview with the teachers, they stated that many parents come to school when their child got an insufficient mark for physics, thinking that the test was too difficult. Most of the time, the results show that the student didn't write a complete answer or a wrong answer because they haven't read the question good. At the end, I asked one of the teachers to provide the other teachers with the website that IOL had given during the physics workshop, and he promised to do so. It was a project of Nina's. In the opinion of the teachers, the thinking process of the students is not being developed enough in elementary school, and that students only study when they have a test. I hope that this presentation will be an eye-opener for both students and teachers, and at the end of this school year, it will mean a lot to me if the percentage of students getting a low grade for physics have decreased. Thank you for watching.